Hello everyone, it's Renee from Renee's Rant and Raves. Today it's going to be sort of a rant, but also a pet peeve, also like a PSA, public service announcement, also really like a safety thing. I have been concerned. I have been without a working vehicle since November of 2023. So I got Walmart Plus so I could have free home delivery of my groceries. And I've been having, occasionally home delivery on maybe, food out. Remember back in the days, you only could have like pizza delivery or Chinese food delivery. That's funny, huh? Yes, I'm aging myself a little bit. But now it's like you can, especially since the pandemic, you can like order almost any kind of food, even alcohol. You can have it delivered to your house. Uber Eats, Grubhub, um, what's the other one? Uber Eats, Grubhub, um, DoorDash. And, it's funny because I used to work out at Alliance Airport right across at a mail order pharmacy. And normally they're called PPM, uh, Pharmacy Benefit Manager. And, it was like there was hardly anything out there, but it's like you only got 30 minutes for lunch, and most of the fast food or whatever, a few of them were like, it took about 20 minutes to go over there and like 20 minutes back. So you got, you were late. And so a few of us thought about the idea of having delivery service. Hell, that was back like 97, 98. Never thought about all these years, 20 years later, 25 years later, that it would really take off. Hell, we should have done it back then by ourselves. But back to the service announcement, safety thing. I've noticed quite frequently that the name, when you get your announcement, when the delivery from Walmart says, let's say it says John, Stephen, Stephanie, that's not who shows up. I've really noticed a lot that it shows up as a female name and it's a man that shows up, or it's a man's name and a female shows up. I think that's really unsafe for us as especially single women. Yes, I am all for the feminists, and women have equal rights to men, but women do get victimized a little more than men do, because most people out there in the world believe women are easier to victimize than they do men. Also, I have had several Walmart deliveries to where it's not just the driver that's in the vehicle. I've had the Walmart deliveries with a child in the car, like a small child. I've also had like a teenage child or an adult child. I've also had two men in the vehicle, or like a spouse in the vehicle. And I just believe that is very unsafe, especially if it's two men delivering to a single female. If you feel unsafe, what about an elderly woman or an elderly man? Just elderly, period. They could feel a little unsafe if two big men got out of the vehicle and started delivering delivering their groceries to them. I don't think that should be allowed. I'm not sure if it is allowed. So maybe we need to voice that more. I have, for what good it does, I have reported it to Walmart. But it is a third-party service. So whether or not it gets taken care of, I don't know. Like Uber Eats the other day, it showed up a man's name and it showed a man's picture, but who showed up was a female. So who's using whose name an app, that sort of can be a little scary. What if it's a female? Now, I've had men show up when it was a female's name, it was Stephanie, and it showed up a man. So that also can be a little bit um, disturbing. Now, maybe the female that's driving like late at night and she's delivering fast food and she has a man in the car, maybe it's her spouse and maybe that's her safety thing. But maybe she needs to put that like it's her and someone as a safety concern. But still, I'm not sure that they're allowed to bring somebody else in their car with them when they're delivering. Again, that's a concern. Because I know if Uber picks you up, that your name and your picture is supposed to be there, and you're not supposed to get in their car when they pick you up unless their name and picture shows up and you can match them up. So I'm not going to get in a car unless it matches up. So that is my rant, and that is my concern of Walmart delivery, groceries, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and the other one is DoorDash. Again, I've had a name show up and the opposite shows up. And another big concern for me is it to be a man bring in another man. I've also, I was really concerned one time. It was man and I'm assuming two of his friends. They all three got out of the car, and yes, they all three got the groceries into the garage for me, but what if I was the only one here? You know, someone was in my house, my best friend, but what if I was the only one here? What if those three men had ganged up on me? That is a safety concern. So everyone out there, if you have a concern, voice your concern with Walmart. Call them when you see this. Try to find out who the third-party delivery service is. If Uber Eats does that to you, DoorDash does that to you, Grubhub does that to you, call them. Concern. Say, hey, the name that showed up on my delivery, that's not who showed up. Or when Stephanie showed up, she showed up with a kid, or she showed up with a man, or she showed up with more than her. I feel for my safety. And get it out there. Get it out there in the public. But I just wanted to get that out there. And please, please be safe, y'all. This world is crazy. I belong to some of those things on Instagram that if you grew up in the 80s, yes, I grew up in the 80s. I graduated in 1986. But growing up in the 70s and the 80s, I don't think it was like this. Of course, there wasn't cell phones. And of course, there wasn't social media. I just think it was a different time. There was still crime, but there was not like it is now. And we were out riding our bikes. Our parents may not have known where we were, but we knew to be home when those street lights went out or came on. But this is a different time. This is a different era. Please be safe. It's not a black on black. It's not a white on white. It's not white black. It is everybody's crime. Is women are committing crimes on women. Men are committing crimes on men. It's a free for all out there, and I don't know when it's going to stop. And since 9/11, I think it's a free for all over the world. It's a scary world. It's a scary country. Yes, we live in the United States of America and we're supposed to be free. But I tell you what, there are some places I wouldn't go by myself, and I'm not a real scary person. So be safe. Be careful, and always, always let someone know where you're going to be. And if you do live alone and you're going to have a delivery, let somebody know exactly when it's going to be there. Where if they don't hear back from you, then they'll know what to do. Always have that safety plan in place. Peace, and I love you guys. Safety, subscribe, comment, and hit the notifications. Love you guys.